Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It is the Survivor Winners at War finale night, a 3-hour episode. I took notes because I wanted to only talk about the key facts. I don't want to do a 2-hour review, so I'm gonna try to get to the good stuff. This was an excellent season finale. Congratulations to Tony. You all, if you're watching it, you should already know who won. Congratulations to Tony. I titled the episode, Please Don't Let Sarah Win. Like, I don't hate Sarah, but if you've watched my reviews up until now, you know I've always said Tony, for the past few weeks, was the clear winner of this game. He was the only one to me that was playing the game. I'm going to break down my opinion on that throughout this review. It was close for Tony. Sarah almost ruined it for Tony. And I didn't think Sarah deserved to win. I don't. Matter of fact, I always said if Tony is sitting at the final 3, Tony deserves the win. Point blank, period. Stop hating Jeremy. But let's jump into the episode. Number 1, Natalie is back. Natalie has her idol. That battle back was a nail biter. For whatever reason, Natalie couldn't get through part 1. And she had 3 advantages. I think the most people had was just 1. No one even had 2. Some people did have 2. I don't know. But Natalie had 3 advantages. Natalie should have smoked them at this challenge. Natalie was good at that table wobble thing with the ball. Wendell was in there. I did not want Wendell to win, only because Wendell would have won and got reversed right back out because he didn't have an idol. I was only rooting for Natalie, Rob, and Tyson. I needed someone to get back in the game that had an idol that could at least shake it up one tribal council. And that's what happened. Natalie, you go girl. She's on my fantasy team. Now, mind you, I never thought anyone in this second round of getting back into the game from extinction would win. I was like, it's too late in the game. Tony has done so much. It's nothing anyone can do. I never, ever thought Natalie could win the game because she was the first one eliminated. Even though she beasted and owned Extinction Island, or whatever it's called. She beasted over there. To me, you got to be in the game to win the game. And sending advantages to the game and all that great stuff with the fire tokens is great. But that's not in the game. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But welcome back. So, now we get to the first immunity challenge. This challenge was so good. It's one of them relays where it's 3 obstacles. Everyone has to do each one, get their puzzle pieces. That slide, that water slide, it looked like people weren't even touching the slide. They were just dropping into the water. That looked dangerous. But I was very impressed at how everyone beasted through that. And Michelle, poor little Michelle, is inching along. She's winded. She can't do... People probably had a good 5-minute head start on their puzzle while Michelle is still down there walking and crawling to get her last puzzle back. And Jeff was like, Michelle, you've done this puzzle before. You're still in this. When he first said it, I ain't think nothing about that. I'm just thinking he encouraging Michelle. When Michelle finally took that last step, and you could tell she was out of breath, probably ready to pass out. But she went on to that puzzle, and she put that puzzle together like it was A, B, C, D stack, A, B, C, D stack. Michelle beasted that puzzle, and people were copying her. And I'm like, you can't win if you got a copy. Because if you got a copy, you got to wait for Michelle to do it first anyway. Some people never even... Tony... I think Ben, some of them never even had their first ring of puzzle pieces stacked. before Michelle was finished. It was an amazing comeback. Michelle, you did that. You needed that. You all needed that for strategy. Amazing, amazing, amazing elimination. Mind you, let's move on next. So now, let's get to why Sarah does not deserve to win a couple of times, I feel. Sarah or Ben. So we get back to the island. Tony is adamant that Natalie has an idol. We got to put all these votes on Denise. I forgot Denise was even there that fast. But, so Sarah says, I'm cool with Natalie. If she had an idol, she would tell me. Why? Why would she tell you? She trying to win $2 million just like you trying to win it. I don't get it. Ben, I ain't voting for Denise. I'm not splitting my votes on Denise. No, Natalie doesn't have an idol. And Tony is telling you all, look, if Natalie plays her idol at Tribal, I'm going to have to play my idol. And Ben, you're going to have to play your idol because we don't know who they voted for. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to flush our idols. Nah, she ain't got no idol. Sarah. Ben, I ain't voting for Denise. I don't see the harm in splitting the votes. I don't see the harm in splitting the votes. Especially if you have it and you know if it does come out as a tie, you can still vote out Denise anyway. Whatever. We get the tribal council. It was a good tribal council. Sarah, mind you, when Natalie came back in the game, I feel like Natalie said she was lying, but she was really telling the truth. Tony was the front runner of the jury. We've heard the jury say Tony is running the game. So Natalie was really telling you all the truth. Sarah, in her mind, is like, why is Tony's moves considered macho and worthy of winning the game? And a women, we always have to be a bitch, or our moves aren't as great, or we have to be the ones following the man. And I'm like, I understand your point of view, but it does not apply to you, Sarah. From the edits that I've watched all season, I haven't really seen Sarah making the moves that Tony was making. Like, Tony blindsided you to get Joe BFF, what's her name, Sophie, out the game. Tony, at Tribal Council, live, flipped the votes from, what was it, Jeremy to Kim. And you wanted to work with Kim. You didn't do that. Tony was trying to tell you to vote for Denise in the first place because Natalie has an idol, and you didn't listen. Like, all I seen Sarah do was fashion shows. I ain't seen Sarah find no idols. So, I understand the gender bias, and then telling Jeff, well, call me Lucina now. I'm like, yeah, that's flashy for the jury, but I wasn't buying it. Like, I wasn't buying it. It didn't apply to Sarah. Sarah was not playing an equal partnership game to Tony. Tony was able to go between two alliances. Like, if Sarah would have got that disadvantage with Jeremy or anyone on the other side of the alliance giving Sarah fire tokens for that disadvantage, hell, would Ben or Nick would have given Sarah fire tokens for, I don't think so. Tony was able to get people in both alliances to give him fire tokens for a disadvantage that would have helped the other alliance if Tony didn't have it, or would have had the disadvantage, the extortion. So miss me with that, Sarah. You can miss me with that. Read me in the comments if I got it wrong. I feel like I'm a woman. I feel like that argument has been said before. Like, to me, this was not a new argument. Plenty of women, I believe Suri has said this before. that lady, Mama C, has said it before. That lady, what's her name? Christy, or whoever played with Ben, had that same argument about women and older women not getting the same respect as men, and she still lost to Ben. So miss me with that, Sarah. Miss me with that. Now maybe it just right now took for Jeff for it to click to him, but we've all heard this before. So Sarah didn't say anything profound. Yes, maybe it was a weight lifted off your shoulder, but girl, you wasn't playing no $2 million game. Moving on. At that revote, I don't understand at that revote, why did Natalie and Michelle vote for Denise? I would have got rid of Sarah. Like, break up Tony and Sarah. Because Denise, I think, would have flipped with them. She probably wouldn't have left Ben. But I think people were scared of Denise being the queen slayer. She got rid of Sandra and she had a resume. Whatever. I'm not in the game, and perception within the game is everything. Moving on. So now everyone wasted their idol, that tribal council, that Michelle had the immunity. Everyone, Natalie played hers, Ben played his, Tony played his. And so it's season 40. It is season 40. Everyone knows at least one idol is coming back in the game. Tony is the only one up making seashell candles out of the fire looking for this idol. Mind you, maybe people don't want to burn the forest down with all this fire looking for idols, but people knew. Tony told people, he at least told Ben and Sarah that he's out looking for the idol. Y'all go to sleep. And you all allowed it. Now, mind you, he didn't find it. The next morning, everyone got up looking for the idol in the daylight, and Natalie found it. But it's just the point that he's the only one out there willing to take the chance. Like, he's playing the game. No one deserved to win if Tony was in the final three. Period, to me. But congrats, Nat. Like, Nat is beasting it on Extinction, and she's beasting it now that she's in the game. So, what was the challenge that Tony won? Throwing the bean bags on the table. Yes. Tony won that. He had 4 immunity wins, too. Like, let me shut up. This is not Final Tribal Council, and I ain't got a cape for Tony. Okay. So now, Tony is like, I got immunity. Go talk to Natalie at the water well and see how they plan on voting, and I'm going to get my spot shack. I don't understand why he had to get in the spot shack. I feel like Sarah would have told him everything Natalie said anyway, but it was good TV. Sarah, being the cop that she is, spots something in her wrist, and Natalie, she really couldn't play it off. She's like, look, I got the immunity idol. I found it. Tony saw it. So, of course, now they was like, she has the idol, so let's vote for Michelle. Now, mind you, they could have... Ben was the one who said she's not giving Michelle that idol. She's going to play it for herself, and that proved to be true. And I understand Natalie's mindset with that. Like, look, I'm here with you, Michelle, but I wouldn't risk it at the final 5 either. I wouldn't risk it either, because you're right there. I'm going to make sure I'm in the final 4, period. But after all that strategy talk at camp about should it be Michelle, should it be Natalie, and Michelle trying to convince Natalie to give her the idol, like, it's going to be me, give it to me. Ben quits. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if they're like, Ben saw the writing on the walls and he knew he wasn't going to win the game. It's still, you definitely ain't going to win the game if you quit. Ben tells Sarah, look, I don't have a chance at this. Vote with the girls, vote me out, and use it as something to build up your resume. Now, mind you, that's what, let's get it over with, because like I said, it was a 3-hour episode. I can't talk forever. So that's what Sarah ends up doing. Have I been calling Sarah Sophie? If I have, y'all know what I meant. I'm sorry. But Sarah does that. She votes with the girls and votes out Ben. Which, mind you, if she would have just voted with the guys, Michelle would have went home, because Natalie did play her idol for herself. Ben gets all the credit for that move. Now, mind you, the jury don't know that, and I'm sure he's not going to go back and tell the jury that he told Sarah to vote him out, and he quit. I don't care what nobody says. That's quitting. It's quitting, point blank, period. Mind-boggling. Like, this is a $2 million game. All winners. Sarah ain't your relative. It could have been, forgive me, it could have been my sister sitting over there. I'm not telling you to vote me out so you could win the $2 million. Your kids don't need $2 million. Your kids don't need $200,000. You could have still played for the second. Like, you could have still played to get there and see. Ben quits. He tells Sarah the move. To me, Sarah is the only person. Eventually, everyone saw it. Like, it started with Michelle. If Tony is there, we can't win. Denise, we need to take Tony out before the final 4. I want to sit in the final 3 with you all, but Tony can't be there. Natalie, everyone in the jury voting for Tony. Ben, I can't beat Tony, so just vote me out, Sarah, so you could try to win. Everyone saw the writing on the wall that Tony was going to win this game, but Sarah. And for that, Sarah, no ma'am. No ma'am. So now we're in the final 4. It's that challenge that I love where you have to put the ball in and catch it at the bottom. And then I think they got up to 5. And Jeff was like, that's the most amount of balls they ever had to have within the challenge. I would have been out first. I would have been out first. I would have got confused. Left, right, left, right. I would have been right, right, left, left, left. Ball on the floor. Moving on. Natalie wins. That was amazing for Natalie to win. I did not know Michelle was... They come back to camp. Everyone has fire making practice stuff. Michelle was making that fire. She was like, fire, fire, fire. Tony and Sarah were struggling. I was surprised because they were talking shit earlier. But moving on. At the final 4, should Nat have taken the risk of putting herself in the fire against Tony to have a better shot of winning? I feel like the only way Nat could have gained the respect of Rob, and with Rob comes Amber, and maybe a few more, like, it's people at the end of the game that would have voted for Tony regardless, like Sophie, Denise, Ben, and say if that would have been Sarah sitting there because Natalie took Tony out, I think those same people would have voted for Sarah. But I think if you would have got Tony out, maybe Wendell might have voted for a Michelle. Maybe Yule. Like, I think it would have been more of a 3-way split instead of all Tony and 4 on Natalie. I feel like she definitely would have got Rob and Amber. She might have would have picked up a few more people that were at the edge in the beginning with her, like maybe a Danny. Natalie should have did the fire. Natalie, without making the fire, Natalie wasn't gonna win, and she didn't. I'm surprised Natalie got 4 votes, because just in my mind, I never thought anyone coming back from the edge could have a possibility of winning the game. I feel like whoever would have went up in fire and took out Tony could have won the game. Like if Michelle would have did it and it would have been Natalie, Michelle, and Sarah, people would have put more respect on Michelle, I feel. And maybe Michelle could have won the game or at least came in second. Like I feel bad for Michelle getting 0 votes. I feel really bad for that. If Sarah would have won against Tony, Sarah would have won the game, hands down. Hands down, but she ain't win. And I'm telling you, that was the most nail-biting fire challenge because I don't know, was Sarah's rope made of steel? Because that fire was hitting her rope way more than it was hitting Tony's rope. And Tony's rope went like that. I was the whole time I was screaming at the TV like, come on, Tony. Come on, Tony. Like I would have hated to see Tony go out because of the fire because he just played such a great game to me. But moving on. In my notes, I said, put some respect on Michelle's name. Like, how did Michelle get 0 votes? Like, Michelle played a really good game. She played way more of a game than Natalie ever played. Like, I understand Natalie's argument. I was on the edge. I'm the one who found 80% of the advantages and disadvantages, and I sent them into the game. And that's how I was playing the game. But you weren't really playing. Like, yeah, you sent them in there, but it was not your strategy on how they were used. Right? You weren't you sent Sandra an idol that ultimately got Sandra voted out. That was not your strategy. That was Denise's. So I love Natalie. Natalie is on my fantasy team. I just love Natalie and I love Nadia. I love the twinsies. I love them. But I didn't see how she got more votes than Michelle. I feel like Natalie is a great speaker. She killed it at the tribal council that she did win. Tony is a great storyteller. Great. When he tells a story, he makes you feel like a friend. Michelle just isn't a good talker. She didn't know how to explain her game. And she did say things like, I needed that win or Tony would win. Like, Michelle just isn't a good talker. But anyway, Nat won $200,000, which is not bad for being the very first person voted out of the game. Congratulations, girl. Like, this was an excellent season. I would rate it the best season ever to me. Like, I loved everyone playing. It wasn't anyone that was like, oh, I can't stand them. I can't wait for them to get out. Like, even Tony, like, usually when it's someone dominating the game, I'm always rooting for that person. Like, I hope they get voted out. I can't stand they think they running the game. Like, even when I was watching Tony doing all the stuff that he was doing, I was still rooting like, I want Tony to win. Like, please don't vote out Tony. Like, the whole time I was like, Tony, come on with this fire. Congratulations, Tony. Congratulations, Natalie. I would love Michelle to play one more time. And people put some respect on Michelle's game. Because she played a really good game. Michelle was one of the first ones who was trying to tell y'all about Tony. I blame Sarah. Anyway, y'all, I did good. 24 minutes. That was a great finale. I didn't want to talk too long. I just wanted to talk about some of the key things. The final tribal council, it was raining its ass off. It wasn't as exciting because I feel like people really weren't comfortable, not because they were uncomfortable in asking, but just it kind of looked like everyone was ready to get that over. Like, come on, Jeff, let's vote. That's kind of how it felt, rushed because of the rain. And I missed the reunion. I am definitely going to look on YouTube and CBS to see, people do their end of the season interviews. I'm sure they'll all be from home. But I still want to know everyone's opinion on why they voted for who they voted for. just hope they answer some questions about decisions they made within the game. Maybe I might do a review on the interviews if I learned anything interesting. If not, it'll just be for my entertainment only, and I hope you all check them out too. But anyway, you all, I get to miss you. If you're only watching me for Survivor, and you watch the challenge, go check out my challenge reviews. We're in the middle of the challenge Total Madness. It's a very good season. Jeff said Survivor will be back in the fall. I guess everybody gonna have a mask on, child. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all later. Bye.